Hello, welcome to the February. I forget what it's called. Shoot, I had a name for this stuff, and it went right in my head. Well, I've been playing and collecting. That's what it's called. What is this? Okay, guess nothing. Never mind. Whatever. Yeah. Ignore me. I got distracted with something on my computer. I'm trying to figure out stuff. Alright. Well, I've been playing and collecting for February of 2026. Okay. I didn't make it on the first because I was sick. I still have like a huge sinus headache and all kinds of issues, but I will survive. Alright, so I don't. Yeah, I didn't really keep track of like the names of all the Pokemon stuff I got. I did big opening thingy, and then I got some other stuff that I just opened off camera because I was like, you know what? I don't care. It wasn't really that I didn't care. It was just that there was a bunch of. I already had done so many, and I was just like, I'm just gonna open them. So there was a Suicune pack thing that came with this sticker situation, and this is like the card that it came with. Was this one of Suicune? I forget what the name of that box thing is. It's one of the newer things that has come out, and I saw it on Macy's, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get it, as it was at retail price, and that's good. The other thing I got, it was just a blister pack thing. It had a Drifblim card. It had this gold coin of Lucario, and it had a random Mega Evolution pack. It was $5 at my dollar store. I was like, what? They got it at the dollar store? Okay. Ooh, excuse me. Not sure what the deal with that was. Who cares? I ordered and got this through. What is the name of it? Gamefly. They just had a coupon, and I was like, I'll use my coupon and get this. It saved me a couple dollars, so I was like, I'll go ahead and get this. So it's a nano block thing of Vaporeon, or not Vaporeon, Glaceon. I'm stupid. Anyway, I know the difference between Vaporeon and Glaceon. I seriously looked at this and thought Vaporeon, but no, that clearly says Glaceon. I don't know. I pretty much was just like, hey, it's a nano block of one of the EVs. Click. So that's how much I pay attention to stuff. Speaking of paying attention to stuff, I actually did pay attention this time. So this was in the aisle where they get rid of stuff. They mark stuff down at Walmart, and I was like, you're gonna get rid of him? Why? Anyways, so yeah, Streets of Rage Axel. I thought that was kind of cool. I've not played Streets of Rage since I was a kid. But it's kind of cool that he has it has the little fireball thing that you could, like, if you took it out of the package, you could put it on the fist. I like keeping it in the package because it has, like, the Streets of Rage art, and it has, like, one of the scenes from the game. I have never left two meats on the ground before, though. I'm pretty sure you almost always end up needing one of them by the time you come across them, and you end up using the things. So that player was lucky, I guess. Alright. I also got. It's like a little kid board book, honestly. It's the pop up Pokemon book. I didn't want to knock everything off of my desk, but it's really cool. You just like shift each Pokemon up following the tab on each page, and then when you're done, you have a display of the Pokemon over top the board book. And I'm just deathly afraid of moving it. I'm sure if you look it up, you'll find it because it's new. It's not been out very long. It's the pop-up Pokemon board book, okay? But basically it makes a nice display, and if you're me, you put a bunch of stuff around it and go, oh yeah, I was gonna show that book. Because the once you take the paper cover off, the front cover looks like a Pokeball, and it's kind of cool. And then the top has all the Pokemon. It's Pikachu in the center, and then a bunch of Pokemon. You got all your original starters. You got the Charmander, Squirtle and Bulbasaur. You also got Jigglypuff, Mew, Butterfree, Sneasel, Lucario, and Gengar. So it's interesting. It's an interesting amalgamation of those Pokemon. But I thought it was super awesome. I think it was like $15. I want to say it wasn't that expensive. It was a pretty decent price for something that is a cute little board book that just tells you like a brief thing about each Pokemon, like you would a little kid, and then you have this really cool display. I like it for the display personally. I could see like a lot of people really, if especially if they have little kids, that would be a cool thing for them to get. All right, on to the games I got because those are more interesting. So this cover art is a reprint. This is not like the genuine book cover copy, as you could tell. But this is what it would have looked like. So I was fine with that. Finding this game is stupid hard. So Evolution 2, Far Off Promise. I have Evolution, the World's Sacred Device, on Dreamcast. That's the one I originally played. I never beat it. And then I got Evolution Worlds, which I also have not got around to beating yet. But Evolution Worlds kind of skips the first one and jumps into this after giving like a very brief of the first game. Like it gives you like a dungeon and a half. Because the first game, I kid you not, has like 5 or 6 dungeons. But they are all skipped in Evolution Worlds. They just have you go through the motions of a few things and then just kind of skip the dungeon parts and just run the cutscenes back to back. That would take place of you meeting each of the characters. That is how far I actually did get originally in the first Evolution game. I got far enough that I paid off the debt and had extra money and had the best weapon on all of my characters. I had maxed out everybody except for the main character because you can't max him out unless you find specific items. I still needed to find like 1 or 2 more items for him. But I was doing really good. I think I was on the 3rd dungeon. I can't remember. It was 3rd or 4th dungeon. It was after you finally meet Pepperbox in her ridiculousness, and she finally lets you have her join your party if you want her to. It was after that. Strange scene between her and, shoot, what is the name of that other girl? Because for the longest time I thought it was a boy, and I was like, oh no, that's a girl, I'm dumb. She lives in a little trailer camper with, I think it's her dad, I believe. Yeah. Trying to remember off the top of my head. Well, I haven't played it in years, okay? Back then, I didn't really complete games like I should. The games I beat were, like, on the Genesis. And then when the Dreamcast came out, I beat, like, Gradia 2. And then the rest of the games, I would just dabble in them. Because I was like, I'm not good enough to actually beat these games. I was not focused enough. I wasn't even trying to focus enough. But I found out that this is the sequel of the Dreamcast version, which makes me wonder if anything was cut out of this in order to be put onto Evolution Worlds. Since they cut so much out of the first one, I don't think any of this got cut. I think Evolution Worlds is basically this game. But, you know, on GameCube. I don't really like playing GameCube that much. I don't know what it is, but me and that yellow stick don't get along. I like my Dreamcast, though. I know those Dreamcast controllers are ridiculous, though. They're, like, big. But I loved them for some reason. I still enjoy using them to play. And I realized that that's the reason I like the Wii U gamepad tablet. It's big and stupid like the Dreamcast controller. I was like, that's why I like you. You're big and stupid. That's the kind of brain damage. I don't know. Well, this kind of spoils one of the games I got, but we'll get to the other one. So this is Conception 2. Children of the Seven Stars. I know these are just like really ridiculous, stupid games. Honestly, about having the perfect child. But, I mean, it's still RPG, and it was made by Atlas, so it does play like a good RPG. It's just a lot of stupid when it comes to the storyline. And I don't mind that because I actually enjoy stupid games and stupid storylines for no good reason. I don't really know why I do. I had pre-ordered and got this game, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Fix the past, save the present, as it says. There is reverse art inside. The reverse cover art is the other versions of the cover art. There's a cover art for the PlayStation, and there's a cover art for the, what was it, 3DS? I'm trying to remember what it was on. Is it your DS or 3DS? It doesn't say. It just kind of shows you, like, the actual just art where it says, Dragon Quest 7. And it just kind of has, like, the image. It's like, basically, you took this part away, the image, That's what they give you for each of the cover arts. You can't tell, like, what game system it is unless you're, like, familiar with it. I'm vaguely familiar. Don't have the PlayStation version because I don't have a lot of PlayStation 1 games. I have, like, 10 of them. It's sad. It's something I need to work on, but when I look at the prices, I run away. I do have the, I think it's 3DS version. But now I have this version too. I'm probably going to play this one because it's the easiest of them. But I eventually will play the 3DS one. And if I ever find it on PlayStation for a reasonable price, I'll get it. I don't know. I might get it for, like, whatever the price is on PNP games. Because generally, it's not too bad. It's just I don't want to pay, like, $75 for a game that is, like, not current generation. Which is stupid because I guarantee games like this are like $60 or $70. So, it's not a far stretch for what I'm already paying. Alright, despite people's complaints, because I've seen the reviews, I don't care. I went ahead and I did pre-order it anyways. I got this Yakuza Kiwami 3 bundled with Dark Ties. So, Yakuza 3 was not Kiwami before. This is the first time it's been Kiwami'd. Because Yakuza 1 and 2 had a Kiwami version, which is the version everybody says to play. I don't actually have Yakuza 1 and 2 original, because those are PlayStation 2, and I did not bother searching for them. I might one of these days, because I literally have all the other Yakuza games. Anyways, people are complaining about the story being slightly changed, I guess. Some stuff was took out and the ending was changed. I don't know. I've never played either version yet. I had pre-ordered this. I wanted to get it so I could have all the games. I mainly was interested in this. Dark Ties is the only way to play that. It is a specific story that can play separately. You do not have to play this part to play this part. It says, experience brand new tale of Yoshitaka Mine in an included separate game. And it's advertised as cruelty tied to insanity. So I'm not sure. I don't know what that means exactly, but I guess I'll find out. My game came with a code for I guess it's like a bicycle thing. The Ryukyu Gal Gang Ichiban Legendary Lad. Not really sure what exactly that entails, but it just kind of shows the bicycle. I mean, it does show Ichiban there, but I know Ichiban was not in the games back then. He is part of the new, Like a Dragon's, series rebranding. I'm not sure what to call it. But yeah. I definitely wanted to get this because I was like, alright, it's the Kiwami version of it, so it's probably going to be the easiest version to be of it. I do have it as part of the collection. What is it called? I don't know if I have it. The Yakuza Remastered Collection. So I do have that version, which is just basically 3 but shinier. All right. I had pre-ordered and got this, the Kibco RPG Selection Volume 3. I already have volumes 1 and 2, so why not? So Volume 3 has Frane? I don't know. Dragon's Odyssey, Sephirothic Stories. It has nothing to do with Sephiroth, sadly. I seriously looked at that. Was like Sephiroth? No. As Divine Dios, continuing As Divine series. The other two, I believe, had As Divine games. I'm just my brain. Woo! And an Illusion of El Falcia. I don't know. I didn't name this stuff. They're all RPGs basically, and like each of them can go for like 20 hours generally if you do everything. If you're just doing the minimum, they go for like 8 to 10 hours. But if you do everything, it'll be a good 20 hours or so. Some of them are longer. I have noticed that. Some of them can be like 40, 60 hours, but others are just like 8 hours. So it's just kind of a combination of them. That way you're like, okay, I didn't just buy the 8-hour game. I bought all of these games, and I have a physical copy that lets me just play them whenever I want. And then I had to round out my Hakuoki series. I have the other Hakuoki games, so naturally I had to get Hakuoki SSL Sweet School Life. So this is kind of like a fan game, if you will. It's like the fan disc of the series. It's spin-off silliness. It says reunite with familiar faces in a modern setting. So no longer are they in their traditional setting. They're now in modern life school. It's just kind of silly stuff, basically. It's nothing serious. As you playing mini games, and they call it Hakuo Academy. It's nothing serious at all. And then there's unique endings for each character, of course. It's just something fun that basically, once I do finally get to playing through all the stories that already exist for these characters, I can follow it up with this fun little side divot. I went ahead and bought this because I kept putting it off because I was like, I know there's a sequel coming out, and I know that I'm going to want to play them back to back if I can. So finally, I just went ahead and pre-ordered the sequel and went ahead and bought this. So this is Biroshana, Rising Flower of Ginpei. I really like these samurai story games because, I don't know, I really don't have an explanation for myself. But I definitely like them. So this one has 5 different romance options. They call them 5 romances to choose from. But yeah, there's a love catch system that shows you the love blossoming. And you can mess with the story branches in a flowchart, actually, on the menu on this game, which makes it a little more interesting with how you can get the different endings. It's actually required to mess with the flowchart to get some of the endings. But yeah. And then, of course, it has one of the, a reverse art with all the people. I do like the fact that despite having a reverse art, it does not actually have a canon shipping of the character with somebody. Because a lot of times they do. When it comes to visual novels, I've noticed that. A lot of visual novels have, like, who canonically they're supposed to be with. Like, Amnesia Memories, it's clearly canonically she's supposed to be with Sheen. And I'm like, whatever. But then there's also the true story ending that has her being with, what's his name? Ukyo. So, whatever. I got this game, Sympathy Kiss. This was my birthday present, actually. Because I had been pondering if I wanted to get the game or not. My mom was like, I get it for you. It didn't cost too much whenever she got it. She found it on sale for like $20 online, so I was like, that ain't bad for a new game. By all means. Alright, so this is the new BlazBlue game. I did pre-order this. Entropy Effect X Deluxe Edition. Don't know what makes it Deluxe Edition, but whatever. So here's the cool reverse cover art. I was reading the back of the box, and it seems like there's a new thing going on. There's a roguelike action adventure in it now, so I don't know if that means that there's something besides just the typical fighting style in it. If so, that actually sounds pretty cool, and I'll definitely enjoy that. Even if it is just the fighting game that I'm familiar with, though, that's a series I like. I have like two or three other of the titles, and I enjoy them. I enjoy them for they're basically like anime styled fighting games, and they have like these elaborate cutscenes and stuff, like something that would be in an anime show that happen before and after fights. So I'm like, I like this, and I really get into it. This was $5, so of course I got it. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I like the cartoon, and I thought it was kind of cute that you could play just like a simple little adventure game. Probably has some mini games in it. Wouldn't be surprised. It doesn't really tell you much. It just says dash into the enchanting world, embark on a quest to save Christmas. So basically, you play through the cartoon. I mean, that's not bad. It was $5 through Walmart. I was like, that's really cheap, and I would enjoy it just for the fact it's something silly and cute. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. I would just enjoy it because it's Rudolph, and I enjoy simple things sometimes. I think this was 20. I'm not 100% sure, but Lord of the Rings: War in the North. It's something I've been wanting to get. Just kind of had it on the fence, but when I ordered through Macy's to get free shipping, I was like, you know what? I'll go ahead and order this. Alright, so this is the most expensive thing I bought this last month. But I don't care. I bought it through P&P Games because I had to have this game. It was to round up my Yakuza series, Yakuza Dead Souls. That's right. Yakuza are fighting zombies. Because why not? So, you can kick, shoot, smash, and bulldoze zombies. But yeah, it's in Tokyo, and it's now the zombie capital of the world. Armed to the teeth and ready for revenge, is apparently what we're doing here. I mainly like the fact that it does have, like, besides having characters that I, not being familiar with the series, don't know who the hell they are, I do notice it does have Kiryu and Majima. So, I'm hoping to play as Majima. He's the perfect amount of crazy for playing through a zombie apocalypse game. I mean, I swear. He looks like he belongs in a zombie apocalypse game with that face, with his hair. I'm like, oh my gosh, he would have fun. He totally would. He would have a thrill with it. It's suiting. It's so suiting for him. So, I was just like, yes, I've got to. I don't know when I'll get to playing it. I aim for this year, but there's so many games I want to play through. It's just, Alright, I went and got this game. I forget how much I paid for it, but I didn't pre-order it. I bought it, like, after the fact, and it was on sale. Mado Monogatari, Fia, and the Wondrous Academy. I waited until after the fact, and then I, like, looked at the gameplay and the reviews and stuff, and I was like, you know what? Yes, I would have so much fun with this. It's so cute and adorable and just right up my alley. I love anything with cute adorableness. Even this little strange three-eyed bunny. That feels like something that's like right up my alley. So I had to get it. So I already own Ryza 1, so I went ahead and finally bought Ryza 2. because I know I like the Atelier series, even if I am terrible actually getting around to finishing any of them. I know I enjoy playing them, even the PlayStation 2 ones that everybody complain about and say are terrible. Apparently, I missed the boat on that bit of information because I like one of the ones that's considered the worst. Like, seriously, I've heard so much about which one was it? I know it's number 3 in the series. It's like Grand Phantasm. I forget which Atelier lady it is. Iris? I could be wrong. I think it's Iris. And I hear that's like the worst one. And that one's the one I played the most for like years until I started playing Atelier Iris 2. I did notice when I played Atelier Iris 2 that Atelier Iris 2 was way better. And it was really fun to go between the two characters. But I would still go back to 3 and have fun. I don't know what that says about me. I enjoyed the worst one. One of the ones that's considered the absolute worst. I sat there and like enjoyed it for hours. I don't know that I ever actually made progress in the game because I wasn't sure what I was doing per se, but I was having fun. And then, like I said, I kind of spoiled it, but whatever. Conception Plus, which is just one. It's the first game. Maidens of the 12 Stars. The case it came in was so broke to hell that I put it into a different case and just salvaged the cover art and put it into this case. And it also came with the 2019-2020 calendar of all the things. It actually came with it when I ordered this game. I had ordered it used, so I didn't expect to actually get the fun little strange calendar thing, but, you know, whatever. It gives you kind of like an idea of what each of the characters look like, basically. It's an old calendar, so it's not like the calendar is of any use. But it's a thing. Like I said, I'm weird. I like to play strange games. I have no real reason behind why I do what I do. So this one, I don't think Atlas was involved with. I think this one is, Spike, Chunsoft, and Numbskull Games. Yeah, so Atlas didn't involve themselves with this, yet they involved themselves with the PS Vita of 2. I think Atlas was involved with the 3DS version of this one, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Anyway, so now it's time to move on to what games I actually don't have any cases whatsoever for. Pokemon Platinum version for DS, because obviously I like Pokemon. Record of Agarest War for Switch. I have Agarest War Zero, and although other people don't like that series, I like it. I can't explain myself. So I went ahead and got that. Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse for 3DS. I already had 4, but I didn't have Apocalypse, so I was like, I should go ahead and get that. The Legend of Korra, A New Era Begins on 3DS. I basically was curious about it. I've never actually watched Legend of Korra. I watched the Avatar series like back in the day. Not that I remember any of it, but I remember enjoying it. So I was like, you know what? I'm sure I would enjoy the spin-off series Korra. And I just went ahead and get that game because it was cheap. It's just mild curiosity, essentially, with that one. Seventh Dragon 3 Code VFD for 3DS. So, from what I understand, the other two games, 1 and 2, did not come out in North America at all. Only 3 came out. But it's a really good game. So, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it because I'll enjoy it. I don't think you need to know anything about the first 2 games from what I understand in order to enjoy it. Pokemon Ultra Sun, because I have Pokemon Moon, I figure I'll get Pokemon Ultra Sun. Pokemon Black 2 for DS, because I have Pokemon White. Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon for 3DS. I have no idea why, but I thought I had it, but I don't. I did not own that, so I was like, you know what, let's own it. I got Mario and Luigi Dream Team for 3DS. I'm trying to get all the Mario and Luigi games that I'm missing. I think I have 2 more to get. Might be 3. I don't know. I got Cross Edge for PS3 because it looked really cool. It's something I've been wanting to get for a long time, ever since like I seen the cover art for it. It just came in a plain case. There's no cover art, so there's nothing really to show. And finally, there was one digital purchase of Paranormal Sight: The Seven Mysteries of Hanjo. It was on sale because of the new one coming out, and I was like, you know what? I probably will like that. So let's go ahead and get it. Alright. Now, the games that I played, beat, whatever. The beginning of the month, I finished Pokemon Legends ZA on Switch 2. I did streaming of that. I didn't stream the very end epilogue stuff. I'm glad I didn't because I straight up cried. There is a scene that takes place that kind of wraps up that story, and it makes reference to X and Y, and it finally dawned on me in that last moment. Oh my goodness, this game really is supposed to be a sequel to Pokemon X and Y. I don't know if anybody remembers, but years ago, back when Pokemon X and Y came out on the 3DS, there was rumors of a Pokemon Z. It never happened, and they always kept making references to like the fact there's a Mega Charizard X and a Mega Charizard Y. Maybe there's gonna be a Z of that. That didn't happen. Other people said, well, maybe it's gonna be a new legendary, and that didn't happen. And then finally, you got Pokemon Legends ZA years later after everybody's forgotten, including myself. And you got a legendary to represent the Z with Zygarde. And it has it taking place within the main city that is in Pokemon X and Y. And it clearly is supposed to be after the events of X and Y because Lysander and his situation, and the fact that you can revisit stuff that was in the other games, and there's been time, and there's references to so much stuff. And I was like, oh my goodness. The more they reference, the more I'm like, all right, let's get to the point here. And then finally, at the very end, the epilogue, it references it, and it's just this touching moment where you're like, oh my goodness, yes. It ties it all together. That's the end of that story. Like, that particular story is done. It was its own thing, and that story is done. And it was just, I cried. I cried real hard. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, oh my goodness, this game is giving me feels. I wasn't sure what to think. The next game I beat wasn't until towards the end of the month. It took me forever to finally get to the end of it. Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster. And the only reason it took me so long is because some of the bosses just straight up cheat. So I found out a method that's kind of stupid, but it works. Once you have the ability of maxing out the jobs for Time Mage and Valkyrie, you can do this. Have at least one character max out the Time Mage and equip their sub ability slot with Hasten World. It's something that'll just take place every turn. Have everybody become Valkyries and max that out, and have them jump every time it's their turn. I always went with either I didn't go with the regular jump. I would go with it was like super jump and hyper jump or something like that. I went with the other two jumps. I just would go back and forth between them, having everybody just keep jumping. And then the enemies basically don't get a chance to hit you. And it's the best way to do the maximum damage in the game, as stupid as that is. So that was the only way I could find to beat the final boss, by the way, was doing that method. I actually had two people doing Hasten World so I could do the maximum jump. The maximum jump takes 3 turns. And by choosing Hasten World on two characters, it made everybody's turn just every time, and then I wasn't sitting there waiting while well while the enemy dawdled around or whatever. It would just go ahead and move things forward. I think it would still work with just one Hasten World. I just wanted to make sure that it went through because it was the final boss of the game, and I was just so done. I was just so done. That was the only thing I didn't like about the game, was I felt like the fights were just so forced in a constricted manner that wasn't fun. It was stupid. And it reminded me of Final Fantasy III. Final Fantasy III did that nonsense with some of the bosses in the original game. And it's just like... Because there was like a boss, you had to be Dragoons and jump or you died. And I'm like, seriously, we're bringing that back? That's the only way to beat these bosses is jump. Fine. It just bothered me that was the thing that Square Enix went with. Like, didn't you learn your lesson from Final Fantasy III? Nobody liked that. Everybody complained. I can't beat what job class I want because you won't let me. There is also an alternative method that I don't completely understand involving using ninja job class that you could use to take out the final boss, but still, you're limited to two options. Either the Valkyrie jump them to death or the ninja class that I don't comprehend at all, but I'm sure some people understand it. I don't. You have to use certain moves in a certain order in order to make it go off correctly, and it's just like, what? Okay. I just found it way easier to do the jumping thing, because with the jumping thing, I only got hit one time, and I had to bring that character back, and then I was back to jumping again. Like, it didn't even happen. Hey. I like the storyline, though. The epilogue for the true ending. That epilogue. Oh, gosh. I did not expect what happened. And I was like, wait, what? Really? That's what that's a thing? Okay. And then they give you another thing in the epilogue where you're like, wait, what? No. What? So there's like two like huge surprises in the epilogue. That was like I didn't even notice. Like, kind of cool. And the front and the main screen, even after you do even if you just do the normal false ending, the load screen of the game when you first start the game changes, and it's kind of cool if you notice the change when you go to start the game. And it's like, oh, I get what you're doing, yourself, honey. And once you've beaten and seen the epilogue of the true ending, if you look at the opening of the game again, it's like, oh, yeah, I see it now. I didn't even notice. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. It's only if the boss battles didn't ruin it all, because the rest of the game is great. It's just at the end, like the ending last two chapters, the boss battles ruin it. Like the optional boss battles that give you like this really cool like send off for the final stretch. Unless you're doing one of those methods, you ain't making it through those boss battles without keeling over. It's just not gonna happen. And it's worth doing because the story is really cool. I really like the little side story thing, like before you go to face the final boss. But they're like, no, we're going to make it stupid hard for you. You're not going to enjoy a moment of it. So I wanted something easy after that because that made me mad. So I decided to play the Plucky Squire because it has straight up on the settings menu the option to change all these things to make the game as easy as you want it to be. So I did. And I went with story mode and everything because I don't care. I don't want to game over or die or have to or get hit by enemies that just waste my time. I want to have fun playing a game, which is exactly what I wanted to do. Problem was that was not necessarily the game to do that with. The story and the idea of it was fun. The first 3 chapters were great. And then they started introducing stupid mechanics. And I was like, oh, goodness, these puzzles are dumb. By the end of the game, I was looking at the puzzles and scratching my head and going, oh my goodness, I don't know what you want me to do, game. I just want to solve the puzzle and move on. Why can't I just grab the block and drag it over here? Why do I gotta do all these stupid things? And it would have like puzzles that involve you going back a page to jump and do a thing and do another thing. And I'm like, I don't like you. Once the puzzles started being complicated, involving jumping in and out and moving things and flipping things and stamping things, it was not fun anymore. It was like, oh, my head hurts. I don't want to solve this puzzle. You could skip the mini games, but that was dumb. That was the fun part. Often, I enjoyed the mini games. I wasn't that good at the magic mini game with the bubbles and the popping. Like, I know what that mini game is. I mean, I've played it many a time, but I'm bad at it. So I had to skip it because I was like, I'm gonna lose. Whoops. After I almost lost like twice, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna skip it. I was like, I'm embarrassing myself. But the rhythm game and the punch out game and I think there was something else. Oh yeah, the archery one. Those were fun. I wanted more of that and less of use the portal to go to a thing, to go grab a thing and take that thing over to the other thing. And then use the portal to slide a thing, and then to bomb a thing, and then to slide a thing, and then go in the thing and do a thing, and then move that thing. That way you can move the other thing, and then you can finally move on. And I'm like, okay, this page was stupid, and I hate you. As even when it was just moving the words around, it was like, I don't know what you want me to do. And there'd be like words that you can't see until you go through the portal. I'm like, that's not fair. The game literally wants me to waste my time running around aimlessly in hopes of finding something that might be there or might not. Because sometimes I just go through, I'm like, you know what, I don't see it. Jump through the portal. And running around aimlessly, well, nope, that was not the answer. Or sometimes you'd go to do something and the portal's not there. I'm like, my portal disappeared. But why? It had no reason to disappear from that spot. It was there a minute ago. And they're like, no, we're not going to make it easy. We want you to play it this way. Ugh. Sometimes I straight up asked Mini Beard. I was like, all right, what do I need to do? I don't get it. Sometimes his suggestions were worthless. His explanation was something useless to me. He'd tell me to do what I knew I needed to do. I just didn't know how. And I was like, you're not helping, sir. I actually had 2 puzzles I had to look up because I was just like, I don't know, I don't get it, my head hurts. I did complete the game, though. I got all the thingamabobbers, all the art scrolls, all the glitch birds. You know what your reward for doing that is? Some stickers on your stinking save slot. Totally not worth it. Yeah, 4 little stickers. Woo! It's possible that the very end bit after the shindiggle where you walk with Plucky, that's not his name. What is the Squire guy's name? The Plucky Squire. Shoot, he had a name. His name's Plucky Boy. I don't care. Plucky Boy. You get control Plucky Boy post-game. Leaving the party, I guess. and there's a special scene. I think that might not happen if you don't collect certain things, but I didn't experiment to find out. And it doesn't seem anybody else experimented to find out. Everybody just went ahead and collected all the stuff because it's not really hard to do so because you're already solving these ridiculous puzzles that waste so much time. It takes less time to collect the stuff that you need to collect in the game than it does to solve the actual puzzles to proceed forward. There was times I could solve the puzzle to collect the item, but could not solve the puzzle to move forward. That's when your game has a problem. There also is glitches in the game. The game straight up crashed on me once. And then there was another part where I could not interact with the portal. I legit thought I was going to have to start over the whole freaking chapter because I could not proceed until I just got lucky and managed to somehow make it work. I ran off the screen, ran back on the screen, and just held the button and was like, "Please go in." And he did. Somehow. I don't know if it would have worked again if I hadn't got it to succeed. I was so mad. I was so stuck because it was just broken. Oh, there was a time the music just said, "Later, man." And I was like, "All right, bye." Hello, silence. That's normal. Literally just watching him walk around in silence. I'm like, that's a fun way to solve a puzzle. Walking around in complete silence. Joy. Just joyful. The story was great. The concept was cool. The first 3 chapters were, yeah. And the rest of it was a drag through the mud. With some puzzles that made me go, I hate you. Why am I doing this? Oh, I know, because I told myself I'm going to beat this game. I don't even know why I made myself finish the game other than because it's short. It is a really short game, at least, despite being frustrating. I think if it wasn't for the fact it was short, I wouldn't have bothered. I would have been like, screw these puzzles and moved on. Because the puzzles I started getting stuck on was chapter 6, and I'm like, there's only 8 chapters, 9 if you include the boss battle. There's not very much of this stupid game left. I just finish it. And I was like, I might as well complete it while I'm at it, because whatever, I already got most of this stuff. There's only a handful of ones that you can miss because they're put somewhere stupid. But 2 of them I spotted before I could get to them. So it was in the back of my mind, I'm going to figure out how to get to this stupid thing. And then I did. And there's one thing that messes with you. You're like, well, I need to get the glitch birds. What are you doing in town? And that one's not the glitch bird to get. They're on vacation. Who cares? The glitch bird you can talk to is just there to mess with you. There is a glitch bird to get in that chapter. That's just a page and a few feet away. And I'm like, well, that was stupid, but okay. Basically, if you go around smacking the shit out of everything and looking behind everything, you'll find everything. It's not hard. It's just the fact that it's annoying and stupid that you need to do that. And generally, you need to do that to solve the puzzles anyways. I kid you not. There's puzzles that the only way to solve them was to go around smacking the shit out of everything. Smack this, smack that, smack this, smack that. Alright, I'm missing something. What didn't I smack? Oh, I didn't smack. Oh, there it is. Because, one place I was like, alright, the puzzles just move up the thing. Move up the thing, beat up the enemies. Move up the thing, beat up the enemies. Move up the thing, beat up the enemies. It's not opening. I'm missing an enemy. Alright, what if I, smack the item in the room and the enemy pops out? What are you doing in the, whatever. You're dead now. Moving on. It was I don't know. A lot of slapping puzzles, and it just was annoying. I didn't mind the slapping puzzles as much. Those were kind of fun. It's just smack the stat out of all of them. Just moving on. That was fun. Mainly because I was just frustrated. I was taking my rant rage out on these cute little adorable little poops of enemies. These little goblins are like, what did I ever do? They're taking it out on me. Unless there's some jokes, it's the troublesome persons. And one time you go in the room, yeah, we're the troublesome persons. I'm like, They just straight up know what they're gonna be called. It's like, yeah, yeah, we know. it's it's enjoyable at times if you can ignore the stupid, annoying puzzles that are stupid and waste so much time and don't make any sense whatsoever. I wouldn't buy the game. Sad to say, like, I don't feel like it's worth purchasing to someone like me. I just wouldn't. Because I wouldn't have felt like I got my money's worth out of it. The only thing I got out of it mainly was frustration. Like, as much as I enjoyed the story and the concept, it mainly frustrated me. It wasn't a game for me. It wasn't like the situation with Pokemon Legends ZA, where the Mega Evolution stuff was bull and drove me absolutely crazy, and I absolutely hated it. But the rest of the game was enjoyable. So I was like, yeah, I can ignore a few Mega Evolution fights. Whatever. I can find a way to get through those fights and then go enjoy the rest of the game where I catch Pokemon and beat snot out of trainers who have absolutely no clue how much I'm going to decimate them. Especially when I come around the corner and go, bagada. Or in Bravely Default, where the storyline really captivated me. I was into the storyline. It was interesting to see where they went with it, because it wasn't your typical crystal story where you're like, oh, I'm going to get the 4 crystals. You get the 4 crystals and it didn't work. And you're like, what? Well, we'll do it again? And it didn't work. And you're like, should I do it again? And the game messes with you at that point. And the thing that you would think would get you the true ending gets you the bad ending. It gets you the normal ending, and you're like, I've been duped. But luckily, it lets you immediately respawn right there at the save point, right before you did it. And you're like, I'm not going to do that again. Let's do the other thing. 8 chapters later, please let this be the end of doing this. Oh, it's too funny. Like, by the time that you finally get to the final thing, you're like, alright, I feel like you're messing with me, game. And it's not very nice. But there's enjoyment to be had with some of the side bosses and stuff, especially Ominous. He's like, no, you're back here again. Leave me alone. Why won't you just let me be? He has such a hissy fit. It's the best. Alright. So yeah, basically, I recommend the Pokemon Legends game. Do keep in mind, before you do the final battle, whenever the tower is alive, you better be like level 70, because I was like level 68 and barely made it. Like, I was on my Pokemon's last legs. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, ran out of healing items. I had 1 Pokemon left. I'm like, just do it, Venusaur! You can do it! Venusaur pulled me through somehow. But yeah. It's something to keep in mind. The final area is a lot of battling. And there's no, like, stopping to go to a Pokemon Center. You do get healed after each battle finishes, but in the middle of the battle, like, there's nothing you can do besides go, oh, I'm not in a good space here. And then the very final battle, you are on your own, beating up these stupid flower things. There is a pattern to them. I do recommend, like, when you see that the flowers are going to attack, like, go ahead and withdraw your Pokemon back into its ball and, like, hide behind some rubble and learn how the flowers attack. That way you can keep your Pokemon from getting decimated. Because I figured that out just in time to keep Venusaur alive enough to finish it off. And I was just like, oh, can't believe I'm hiding from a flower. Strange things you gotta do in games, I guess. And, like, I definitely can recommend Bravely Default for the story. The bosses are total stupid cheese tactics. It is absolutely necessary to cheese them to win, which is dumb. But if you can get past the fact you have to do that, it's a worthwhile story. It's just annoying that you have to do specific tactics to beat the boss, which just doesn't. And once you find out those tactics, it's like, well, that's overpowered and I could beat the whole game with that. That's dumb. I feel like this is stupid. And you're like, I can't believe this is a thing. And then you look at the other two games and go, could I streamline them too? And you start thinking about cheesing those games because you're like, I don't know. Are they just as stupid with the bosses? I don't know. I will eventually find out. I'm in no hurry for doing that. After all the struggles that one gave me. As much as I enjoy it, the struggles was just like, I'm gonna wait a little while. It's a great RPG, but I'm gonna wait. I'm just mainly just aggravated that the easy mode's not easy. Like, don't give me an easy mode if it's not gonna be easy. That's just mean. Don't lie to me. That's all. I have since been playing Starlight Legacy, and it is fun. It is easy. It is simple. It reminds me of, like, Gen 1 Pokemon. But I'm loving it. Like, to me, it's like if you took Gen 1 Pokemon and Final Fantasy 1 and was like, make a game. Because, like, the map straight reminds me of Pokemon with the way that the map works. I was like, oh my gosh. You got your routes that just go to a thing, and once you reach the thing, that's the place you want to be. And it's so obvious which way to go to get to it. And there are routes that connect to other areas once you get the special ability to do it. But instead of stuff like cut and surf and fly, you have a hammer, a magic carpet, and a raft. I'm like, what am I doing in this game? You even get a flute. You can play magic to remove an obstacle in the middle of the road. At least you don't get attacked by a Snorlax. That was like the only blessing from that. I was like, oh good, I don't get attacked by a Snorlax for using a flute. I'm like, I have bad memories of flutes in the middle of the road. I'm literally like into the game at this point. But I still need to I still want to do the optional tower, and I think there's an optional cave. And then I'm going to do the final thing. I just got to figure out how to use a dragon. Don't ask. I can't really explain it other than that I seriously have to stare at a little mini-map and stare at a little control system on the screen. I'm like, okay, this makes the dragon go up, and this turns the dragon. And then if they're facing that way, open up the regular map. Alright, then the place I'm wanting is over there. Looking at the mini-map. Alright, I see where it is on the mini-map. Am I facing that way with the dragon? No. Yes. Yes. Am I? Nope, I went down. I don't want to go down. Forward? I'm going forward! The process was slow and stupid, but I did it. It was mainly stupid because I didn't know what I was doing. But it's so reminiscent of, like, really old RPGs, like your SNES and NES era, and I'm just like, I'm loving this! It's easy because of how simple it is. Like, I accidentally grind just because I'm like, is there a treasure chest over here? No, it's a dead end. Is there a treasure chest over here? Oh no, it's just simply a talking tree. Who wants to fight me? What? Although there is a funny scene with the talking tree that you can fight. Once you fight him, because he's in the way where you need to go at one point. Because you need to go to a stone tablet in order to see a song. You beat the tree up, and he goes, I'll go back to the forest now. Like, bye! Like, these enemies are just so stupid. They're just so casual. Like this ice fairy. She's like, you ain't gonna make me do nothing. I'll teach you a thing or two. Beat her up. I'm sorry. Here. Take him with you. Bye. I'm like, they're just like slinking off. Like, I didn't mean what I said. It was a mistake. It's like, I just beat snot out of you and you apologize to me. Thank you, cool. It's like the best part in the game. Oh, goodness. And like, instead of 4 crystals, it's 4 relics. I'm like, alright, whatever. It's still fun. And like, you see what's gonna happen like a mile away. But it's still fun anyways. It's like, I know where the game is going with this. But I'm having fun with it, and I don't care. I get to take the swords and get on enemies. There's like a move that lets you hit enemies up to 5 times, and you can see their little swords in action on the combat screen, and it actually changes depending on what's equipped to them. And I'm like, I'm having fun with this, and I don't even care how stupid it is. It's like, I don't care that it's so simple and stupid. I don't care that it's easy. This is my definition of fun. So, if you're not familiar with Starlight Legacy, and you just want a fun, relatively short RPG, I mean, I think I take, without using a guide, because I'm like, I'm going to figure this out myself. Oh, goodness. Playing the game blind. Trying to figure out what to do from point A to point B or whatever. Trying to figure out, each area, just kind of guessing and throwing darts at it. It takes me roughly around 2 hours per temple area. 3 in the water ice area, because the ice sliding puzzles are bull and everybody knows that. Anybody's ever played a sticking game where you slide on ice and hit a rock and slide on ice and hit a rock, you know what I'm talking about. You know how stupid they are. They are solvable, but you will go in 50 circles before you figure it out. So I took 3 hours in that area. But all the other areas only took me 2 hours. I think I took like an extra hour of just randomly exploring around once I got the new items. I'm calling them items. I don't know. Like the hammer. I think there's only stuff in the forest area to open with the hammer anyway. But the magic carpet and the raft, they unlock some areas that you couldn't go to before. So it's worth like trekking back, especially after you've done all 3. Before you do the sky. I recommend doing sky last. Okay, just trust me. Anyway, if you do all the other ones, then you can go back to the... I went forest, and then desert, and then water, personally. And I feel like that might be the best order to do it in. And then at that point, you can trek back to forest and hit up the desert real quick before you go to the sky area. Because on your way back from the water place, you can grab any treasure chests you missed that were labeled 3. Because the treasure chests have numbers on them to let you know when you can open them. It has a 2, you need 2 relics. It has a 3, you need 3 relics. There's none that say 4. 3 was the highest. So it's like, alright, go back and go get the 3s that were in the forest area. And some 2s that I missed because I walked past them because I'm blind in one eye and can't see out the other. And then go get the rest of whatever was in the desert area and then move on. It's really nothing important. Like, I think the best thing I got was I got a free hyper sword, so I didn't have to buy them all. And I had gotten a physical charm, so I didn't have to buy all those either. I only had to buy 3 physical charms. I had to buy... I think I found 2 hyper swords, so I had to buy 4 of them. I could be wrong. I might have had to buy 5. I can't remember off the top of my head. I realized you could have each character use 2 weapons and use the frenzy ability and then just beat the snot out of their enemies. And suddenly it became important to me to have everybody have a high attack and high defense and just beat the snot out of the enemies. That became my tactic. And I'm like, I know this is kind of a goofy tactic, but this is my favorite. You don't have to do that tactic. The game has options for everything. There's options to have a high defense character that just heals and casts protective spells. You can have a character that just blows the enemies up with magic attacks. such as Hyper Fire, Hyper Ice, and Hyper Earth. It's up to you. And I like the fact that it actually does leave it up to you. Each enemy has its own weaknesses and stuff. There's a way to find out their weaknesses. I think it's called exploit. There's so much options in the game, despite being so simply designed. And there's so many like skill options. You could throw stuff at enemies. I've chosen not to, but you can. There's just there's a multitude of things you could do, and I was like, I like the fact this game is just like, do what you want to do. Here's your goal. Find it your own way. And I'm like, cool. So that's what I've been doing. And I'm just having a ball with it. All right. So that's all I had to say about that. I haven't decided what I'm going to play after I finish it yet, I'll be honest. Part of me wants to play A Hat in Time because it's what I originally had next up. But Tales of Berseria Remastered came out, so I might play that. I don't know. Anyways, that was it for February. I've talked way too long. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.